Good morning, children. Children, in the previous session, we tried to understand about the criticism being made on the draft constitution in the Constituent Assembly discussions, where Ambedkar tried to answer their questions. We have seen the criticism made by people like Damodar Seth and even Pramod Ranjan Thakur and even by the Maulana Hazrat Mohini. So, we had ended up with the discussion on untouchability, how the untouchability should be understood, whether it is not allowing them to enter into the temple is considered as untouchability, or not giving them a glass of water is considered as untouchability. And there were many questions raised by people like Thakur and Rohini Kumar Chaudhary, where they were asking about the clarification on the definition of untouchability. So, it was Rohin Kumar Chaudhary who was trying to define untouchability. It may be clearly stated that untouchability means any act committed in exercise of discrimination on grounds of religion, caste or lawful vocation life. Everybody is subjected to lead a very lawful life. If you are struck up, if somebody is stopping you to lead such life, then it is called as untouchability, is what Rohini Kumar Chaudhary tried to give the definition for it. And Mr. K. Munshi sir, Munshi has said in the Constituent Assembly, K. Munshi, sir, I oppose this amendment. The definition is so worded that it is not accepted, because it will make any discrimination even on the ground of place of birth or caste or even sex as untouchability, because male and female, if they become untouchable, and caste may become untouchable, and on the place of birth also they may become untouchable. So, K. Munshi has opposed that definition of untouchability. And coming to Dhirendranath Datta, told that it seems to be that whether a definition suggested by Rohini Kumar Chaudhary is accepted or not, it is necessary that there should be some definition put in it. There should be a clear definition to be put in the constitution, so that in future people may not search for or may not apply this untouchability for various other untoward actions. So, here it is said that untouchability in any form is an offence. A magistrate or a judge dealing with offences shall have to look to the definition. Then one magistrate will consider a particular thing to be untouchability, with the result where while another magistrate may hold a different thing as to be untouchability. So, this uniformity is a part on the part of the magistracy in dealing with offences is required, and it will be very difficult for the judges to understand and decide the cases on the basis of untouchability, because one judge may consider it as untouchable and the another judge may not consider it as a untouchability, a particular thing, a particular offence. So, the person who considers, the magistrate who considers it as a untouchability, then that will be treated as a offence. Whereas the magistrate who doesn't consider that particular act as a not as a untouchability, then he is not considered as a offence. So, moreover, untouchability means different things in different areas. For example, in Bengal, untouchability means one thing, while in other provinces, if you look at in the Madras province, in Mumbai province, it means an entirely different thing. So, Ambedkar himself comes from the Bombay province. So, in different provinces, different definitions or different things are present in different areas on the definition of untouchability. So, it is a must for the Constituent Assembly to give the definition for untouchability. So, finally, Ambedkar tried to give the answer. I take it that the Union Legislature will define the word untouchability, so that the courts might prescribe a proper punishment to that offence. So, eventually it has decided the definition of untouchability out of the constitution to leave it to the legislature to make an appropriate laws in the future. So, as per that, the definition of untouchability has become a more legalized word in the constitution, and even by the courts in deciding whether a particular act is untouchable or not. So, after that we also shall understand about the constitution and the social engineering. When we talk about the makers of the Indian constitution has confronted the fact that Indian society was ridden with inequality, injustice, and deprivation, and was a victim of colonial policies which had exploited its economy. Already there is inequality, injustice in the caste system itself, and further the colonial rulers have exploited us and made us deprived, so which had exploited even our economy also. Thus the constitution had to facilitate social change and development. The both should go side by side, otherwise the development fruits may not reach to the downtrodden people or to the lower caste people in the country. So Jawaharlal Nehru in the Constituent Assembly said that the nation on a move, throwing away the shell of its past political and possible social structure and fashioning for itself a new garment in its own making. This is a statement which was made by Jawaharlal Nehru while addressing to the Constituent Assembly. That means old structure, social structure which was present in India is being removed and a new garment in the sense new dress is being made. So how does it suits to the Indian people? That time decides, but a new garment is making what he made in the Constituent Assembly. The Constitution has thus made many provisions facilitating the social change. What is social change, children? What is a change? Social change in the sense, social means society. The change in the society was made through the Constitution. You might have read about the untouchability. That is one social change. And the best example of this provision for reservations for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the Constitution is also for the social change. Until now, these lower caste people, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes were not given proper position in the government administration. Now they can also participate, they can get educational opportunities and employment opportunities. Reservation system was introduced to them. The makers of the Constitution believed that mere granting of right to equality was not enough to overcome the age-old injustices and suffered by these groups. If you provide right to equality in the Constitution, that is not sufficient. Some more things should be provided in the Constitution so that the old age injustices what has been met by these people, they may overcome and they may lead a very dignified life. So they were given the right to vote also. Special constitutional measures were required to advance their interests. Therefore, the Constitution makers provided a number of special measures to protect the interests of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Scheduled caste means the lower class people, SC we call them, scheduled caste. Tribes mean the people who live in the forest, scheduled tribes like Koya, Gond and many other people who live in the forest, they comes under the scheduled tribes. So there are reservation of the seats even in the legislature also for these caste people. The Constitution also made it possible for the government to reserve the public sector jobs also for these groups. As I told you, employment as well as educational reservation was provided for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Even the Constitution also has in it the directive principles of state policy. So which sets the main social system before the government, how the government should make the policies, not to a particular section of the society, but which are in the interest of the majority of the people in the society. One important aspect of the social engineering is a problem of the rights of the minorities, the people who are in a low in number. For them also you need to protect their interests. So that was also kept in the mind, because the Jewish minority, how they got attacked in Germany by the Nazi group, we have already seen. So rights of the minorities and protection of the minorities' interests was also given more priority. So one such right is a right of religious minorities to run their own educational institutions. Such institutions may receive even grants also from the government funds. This provision was also made under the Constitution. So these all provided the rights of the minorities a kind of fencing or protection under the Constitution. And tomorrow we shall see how the Constitution is presently today, after 70 years of our journey, how the Constitution has been rechanged or has been amended and what new things has been added. Let us see in the next class, children. Thank you.